right, hey guys, it is TsubakiSwagg and I'm coming to you with my review of Parasyte the Maxim episode 19 in cold blood. And I'm sorry I'm kind of late. I had a whole lot going on yesterday. But this episode was so freaking awesome. I was expecting so much to happen and then it was just like, really? That's all that happened? This episode was freaking awesome. Because, of course, it picks up where the last one left off. I really thought it was about to go down. But next episode, it looks like it really is about to go down. Oh my goodness, really was just not prepared in the slightest for this episode. Oh my god, this episode was freaking awesome. Because, of course, it picks up where the last one left off at. We see, like, Kaneki. Well, not Kaneki. Wow. You can tell what I just reviewed. We see Shinichi. He is still sitting across from Yurigami. And Yurigami is giving him, like, literally the stink eye. And then he pretty much gives, like, his whole life story, like, talking about him being a serial killer and killing all these females and just being able to sense, even though he's human, he is able to sense parasites. Like, he is able to sense them out of a crowd of people. And he said he thinks it's because of his animal instinct. So you can tell that he really isn't a parasite. He's just such a animal or a monster that he can sense other monsters. So, and he was like, he doesn't understand how people can just like walk around and not even know that they're there. But he can sense them literally, like if he stood in the middle of a crowd, he could see like one or two in an hour, which is kind of scary if you think about it that way for the people who are walking around and they don't even know that they're like, they could be one of their friends or one of their relatives or just a random person that walks down the street that chops their head off. But that's neither here nor there. So he pretty much, he goes through his whole life story. Like, he killed all these people and then he kind of had like, he wanted to learn more about parasites without actually approaching them, and he came across a feeding ground for a parasite where the parasite just left body parts all over the ground, and he was like, you should clean up after you finish playing with your toys. And he went to pick up the hand and police officers just came out of nowhere and arrested him, and I believe that's how he became imprisoned, and that was how he got found out as a serial killer. So he was looking into Shinichi's eyes, and after he did like the death stare, probably for what felt like forever, he said that Shinichi isn't what they think he is. They said at first, when he first looked into his eyes, like looking deep into his eyes, there was like something there that wasn't entirely human. But after looking at him, he was just like, it's really nothing spectacular. It just caught him off guard a little bit. So they let Shinichi go. And Shinichi was like talking to Hiorama. I believe that's his name. Hiorama. The detective. And he pretty much told, well, the detective pretty much told him and his father that they were going to be staying in the hotel. If they needed to go to their house, just let somebody know and they'll escort them. So they were like they were in the hotel, and well, right before they went in, his dad went in, and Shinichi stayed back to talk to him. And he asked him like what's going to happen to the baby, blah blah blah, because Ryoko wanted Shinichi to watch the baby. She wanted him to take care of her baby, but the detective, he was pretty much like, we still gotta run tests, blah blah blah. He was like, so if the baby is human, and he was like, well, then the baby will go into foster care. And he was like, well, unless you are related to Tamiya Ryoko. And then he giggled and was about to walk away, and Shinichi laughed or whatever. And the detective, he's just so skeptical, which, I mean, he reserves every right to be skeptical considering what Shinichi is, but he doesn't know that. And even the one person who he knows, well, he is almost positive can distinguish between, didn't even like said that there was nothing there. So Shinichi, he goes upstairs with his dad, and his dad goes to take a shower, and he decides to talk to Migi. And Migi pretty much notices that Shinichi is tired, and he said he's not only tired in body, but he's also tired in spirit. So Shinichi pretty much tells him like what happened with Yurigami and being like afraid of this man, and he's only a human. And he was like, I don't understand, there are humans that I'm so afraid of, but a parasite saved my life. Risked her life to save him. So it was just like, it was crazy. And Shinichi, he didn't quite understand why, like, he didn't quite understand why all of this was happening, like, why he was going through all of this. So the next day, we see that we see the mayor and his his underling parasites were talking, and they were pretty much talking about like the three that got killed by Ryoko, and then Ryoko dying, and pretty much like this is going to be like it's going to pretty much be an all-out war between the parasites and the humans. And of course I believe the mayor is scared, even though he won't let on. I believe that the mayor is scared that something is about, like, it is really about to go down. So later on that day, we see like Shinichi, he goes to talk with the detective and a man who has a huge like gash in his forehead was there, and they were talking about how to combat parasites. And Shinichi remembered a conversation that they never showed of him having with Migi, and Migi pretty much said that a flamethrower would be effective. And I really don't understand. Maybe somebody can explain to me what Migi was trying to say about the flamethrower being effective, but he was like, the flamethrower scares them, so it could be effective. I don't understand. I was slightly confused on that. But flamethrowers will be effective to parasites. So they pretty much asked Shinichi to join in the fight, because the next day he went to school and Murano was there, and he was talking to Murano, and Murano was like, well, we're about to graduate in 3 months, and it's just awesomeness. And we also see like Shinichi, he literally like he ran, I want to say it was a 100-meter dash in like 10 seconds. And he was like, it would have been easy for me to crack 9, because his gym teacher was like, you need to go all out. You haven't gone out all year, blah, blah, blah. So Shinichi went all, well, he didn't even still go all out. He said, because it could have been easy for him to get under 10 seconds. But then, like, when they were in the locker room, he was changing in the corner, and the kid, like, one of the guys was talking about him changing in the corner. He ripped his shirt off and saw the scar on his chest, and he was like, sorry. So yeah, that was kind of messed up. Then he went to go talk to Murano, and they were talking, and the detective literally came out of nowhere, and he told him that we will win, blah blah blah. And Murano just went on this whole rant of, why is it always Shinichi? Why is Shinichi the one that's always helping you? Like, why is they're supposed to be living a normal life? They're supposed to be like just going through high school and being normal and happy, and it never fails that something always comes up for him to be snatched away, and then people die, and it was really sad. I felt really bad for her. But this whole episode was so freaking sad. But after that, we see Shinichi. He goes to help in the coup d'etat, where like the force that was led by the dude with the gash in his head, I can't remember his name, he storms a building, and it just so happens to be the building that has the mayor in it, whom we all know has like 5 parasites in his body. Well, probably more than that, but he has multiple parasites in his body. So they storm the building, and they pretty much tell everybody that they have to go out in groups of 7, and each bus that they parked in front of the building has like sensors that can sense like whether or not there are parasites within a human's body. So they send them out like 7 by 7, and while all this is happening, they're telling Shinichi and Yorigami to look at the monitor to see if they can distinguish who is a parasite and who isn't. And Shinichi, at one point, he asked me, he's like, Migi, can you tell who is a parasite and who is not? And Migi was like, they're pretty far away, but there are quite a few there. So yeah, that was kind of scary if you think about it that way, because if they retaliate, that could be really bad, considering there's a whole lot of people there. So they show people walking by the buses like 7 by 7, and they catch one, and it was like, so our first hit is going to be a woman. And that was the end of the episode. I was like, ah! It's literally about to go down. Next episode looks like it's going to be freaking awesome. Like, all hell is about to break loose, literally. I can already tell that all hell is about to break loose in next week's episode. I'm so looking forward to it. Like, it is going to be so freaking awesome. Oh my god. really was just not prepared in the slightest. Oh my god. Can't wait for next week's episode. So, as always, I would love to hear how you guys felt about this episode. How do you feel about the way things turned out? How do you think things are going to go next week? Do you think that the mayor will be found out? Whatever, because he keeps, like, the way he did it. I think one of the guards noticed. He laughed when the mayor said it, because like all of the city people should stay back and let as many people go as they can. So I think he's stalling for time right now. So yeah, I'm so looking forward to next week's episode. But as always, please remember to comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. It helps me out a whole lot. And this is TsubakiSwagg saying adios.